Good leaders empower teammates. Good teammates empower other teammates to shine, to do their best, to contribute. Every day matters, every second counts. You're gonna do this. If you're gonna put in the time, make it count. For you, for I, not for your team. How bad do you want it? How casual are you gonna be? Obstacles are excuses for losers and opportunities for winners.
One of the key components of business, listen twice as much as you talk. Being attentive, listening to your customers. They'll tell you what they need. Oftentimes, that's the next great opportunity.
My pursuit in life is emotional wealth, spiritual wealth. The vehicle is trying to pursue economic wealth, to be a catalyst to those things.
Thanks, everybody. So if you can hear me, pull in a little bit. I know we got a bunch of folks that have been standing up in the back, and that's cool, but I want you to be engaged, if you don't mind, for a minute, because this is going to be a little bit interactive. Built different. I'm going to do this a little bit differently. Probably doesn't shock most of you. I want to start off with a couple things. I want to deliver a message, and I want to tell a story. The message I want to deliver is when someone tells you who they are, believe them. I'm going to say this again. When someone tells you who they are, believe them. A story about Kevin DeLory. One of the things that we shared in common was golf. And for those of you that don't know, we sponsor the golfer Patrick Reed, Captain America. And we host some partners at the Masters every year. And Kevin and Patrick kind of hit it off. And Kevin and I, our families, well, actually, I think Kevin bought it for himself, but our families bought us a lordship. If you ever watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, you know, Lord Disick, we have that lordship. I've got the picture. I've got the plot of land in Scotland. And so he's Lord DeLory, right? Well, Patrick is a little bit of a ball buster, and so he kind of renamed Kevin King Delroy. And this drove Kevin crazy because he's like, my name is DeLory. And every time we'd see P. Reed, he'd call him King Delroy. And so a couple years ago, we're getting ready Monday at the Masters, and Kevin comes to me, he's like, dude, I can't let him call me Delroy anymore. I've got to say something to him. And I'm like, he's breaking your balls. I mean, come on. He's like, all right, I won't say anything. And I knew that he would. And post round, goes to hug, and I'm standing right next to him watching this unfold. And I'm like, this is going to be hilarious. And Kevin gets up on his tippy toes as he's hugging Patrick, and he says, it's DeLory. Because Patrick's like, King Delroy. And he gets up on his tippy toes and he hugs Patrick and he goes, it's DeLory, DeLory. And Patrick, with the straightest face ever, looks at him and goes, no, it's Delroy. So let's hear it for King Delroy. So here's an announcement. Kind of made this I floated this to the group last week, made this decision last night. And this is something that I really want to do. So we're going to put it together. I'm going to host every single day a capital markets huddle for the industry. Every morning, I'm going to get on some sort of video call that all of you can sign up for, right? So email me, pmancuso@epm.net if you want to participate. Hit me up on Instagram. If you don't follow me, it's, El Presidente _EPM on Instagram. And it's going to be every day for a fixed amount of time, probably 30 minutes, maybe an hour. I'm going to sort of talk to you for 5 to 15 minutes as though we are in the trenches on Wall Street. This is the data. This is what I see. This is what I would do. This is what we're looking for. This is what we'd anticipate. This is the coverage I'm taking today. Like in boots on the ground, trading places look at capital markets in this industry. And then once we go through that strategy, the same strategy I do every day with the team at EPM, I'll open it up to questions. So you'll be able to put questions in the chat, and I'll answer whatever questions you have until we time out. And that's going to be every single day. I don't know, maybe in 2 weeks, we'll start 2-3 weeks. Now let's get to it. Somebody will probably have to pick Jen up off the floor. We're going to do this a little bit differently too. I've got 3 topics: mindset, sales, capital markets. I'll talk about whichever one you want me to talk about. So, by round of applause, who wants me to talk about sales? Mindset. Capital markets. So I think mindset wins. Do we agree that sound like mindset got a little more in cap markets? Okay. So one of the things you heard there was, and I've been saying this a lot, was a riff off of Coach Saban. And I forget exactly how he said it, but I kind of put a spin on it where obstacles are opportunities for winners, and problems are, I screwed up my own fucking quote. You know what I mean, like, but George Bush won't get fooled again. You know what I meant. And so, you know, when I look at starting a business, when I look at getting into a sales meeting, when we huddle at the office, I think invariably the human, you know, the frailty of humanity drives us to want to feel bad for ourselves. Misery loves company. What a tough day I have. You know, I've got this borrower who's driving me crazy. I've got this broker who submits shitty files. And we want people to feel bad for us. We want that validation. I think that's why social media is as effective as it is. It's sort of instant validation. Or maybe not, but hopefully, I guess, right? And we sort of seemingly live from quick fix to quick fix. Complain about this today, complain about something else tomorrow. It makes us feel good. I know what you're talking about. And I think that when you understand, and we're going to have the great Dr. Jordan Peterson up next, the psychology, let's hear it for Jordan Peterson. You know, sort of the psychology of humanity. And I've talked about this before. Tony Robbins talks about people wanting to be loved, accepted, and recognized. That validation we seek oftentimes is easier found in misery, easier found in complaining than it is in celebration. You know, sometimes we don't celebrate the wins enough. I think sometimes we get conscious about that. We worry about jealousy. We worry about envy. I worry about myself. How am I going to get better? Fuck what everybody else thinks. If I'm doing the right thing, if I'm true to myself, it has to work out. Get on or get off. So I think that we sometimes fall into this trap of negativity, and we need to break the pattern. The great news is when you are basking in the glory of positivity, right? That's also a cycle that needs to be broken. And if you don't break it, and that should be the endeavor, guess what? All you do is win. Every conversation is about success. Every conversation is about the next deal. Every conversation is about winning. People want to run with winners. You complaining to your boss, to your customer, to your realtor, to your borrower, oh shit, rates went up a little bit today. It's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to say, I told you so. You should have locked yesterday. It's a great opportunity. Say, don't worry about it. There'll be an opportunity to refinance. I got great news. I make money when you refinance. I'll call you. Don't worry about it. Obstacles are excuses for losers and opportunities for winners. You know, there so many times we look at the mindset, and I had this conversation. For those of you that have heard this story before, I apologize, but I think it's meaningful. A couple of years back, I'm hitting balls on the range, and one of the kids on the range said to me, "Hey, I know you guys sponsor professional golfers. I aspire to be a professional golfer. I want to play at the Masters because it's around Masters time. Would you consider sponsoring me?" And I said, I don't know. Let me ask you a couple questions. First question, how are you getting better at golf watching me hit balls? I'm not. Then if I were you, I'd fucking walk out that door and quit right now and start hitting golf balls if that's what you want to do. And so when we look at the opportunity ahead of us, I think where we trip up at times is that we haven't established what our desired outcome is. And I said recently to a professional athlete who's trying to break into social media a bit, trying to build a brand, I said, you understand the contemplation here. Are you a businessman or are you an athlete? Because if you're an athlete, you're worrying about the outcome tonight, this week, that pitch, that at bat, that golf swing. But if you're a businessman or business, I'm saying man because he's a man, but a business person in this context, you're making an investment. You're playing the long game. You're seeing 3 steps ahead. As we like to say nowadays, you're playing chess, not checkers. That's the mistake that I have found that people make in their preparation for success. We know they want to succeed, and they might even have the right mindset from a tactical standpoint. But from a cultural, a spiritual, a guttural standpoint, they don't understand that sometimes you have to take losses. Successful business people lose. Successful business people make mistakes. Successful business people, and I hate to use this term, I think it's overused, but have an abundant mindset. Some of the folks here talked about we don't worry about our competition, so on and so forth. Truthfully, I don't believe all of them, but in reality, absolutely the right mindset. Your competition is yourself. I'll tell you a story. A buddy of mine years ago owned a golf store. First mistake, didn't see Sports Authority coming. The lesson to be learned there. They opened up across the street. Fewer and fewer people went in the golf store. And, Jimmy came to me and says, "Hey, seems like you're pretty successful at what you do. Do you think I can do it?" I'm like, "Well, you're a great salesperson. Why not?" And I gave him some leads to work at night. And he's back sort of in the glory days when, we were dropping somebody's rate from 13 to 8 and, dropping their payment, dropping their term, and it's a layup. And Jimmy couldn't sell this lady. And I come in night after night and like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I forget her name by now, but, what's happening with Mrs. Jones? Couldn't sell her. I'm like, "What do you mean you couldn't sell her?" And Jimmy's like, I don't know. I couldn't sell her. I said, "Jimmy, she's saving fucking $800 a month. How do you..." If I got home and my wife said I could have saved us $800 a month and I didn't, I'd walk right back out the door. I guess I could just go make another $800. And he looked at me after like the 4th straight night of me saying, "I don't know how you couldn't sell Mrs. Jones." And he says, "You're not bullshitting me. You really don't understand how I didn't make this sale." And it's like, you goddamn right. How could you not make a sale saving somebody $800? And I think it's that mindset of being unrelenting. That mindset of knowing the goal and living the goal, understanding it, not letting anything get in your way. If that goal is all that matters, and when I see all of you here, it tells me how important this goal is to you. How many of you are away from your families? How many of you are not on a beach, not sipping a pina colada, not playing golf right now? So this is meaningful. It matters. Embrace that. Lean into it. Understand it. You could watch a show on a rerun. You could play golf another day. Pay your dues now while you can, before it's too late. See the beauty in life. I've been honest about this. At times, I struggle to see the beauty in business. I love the world we live in. I love life. I love everything about it. I obsess over how can I experience more of it. But then at times when I see the darkness of business, I see us at odds at times in this industry. I see the obsession. I have 44 seconds. I might go over, Jenna. I was early before. I think I have like a minute banked, by the way. I see the obsession over like 1 hour of fucking turn time. And I said recently to a partner, a great partner, I think they were our #1 broker last month. And we're fighting at the end of the month over, 3 loans that didn't get under it. I'm like, dude, when do we celebrate the wins? I'm here for the wins. I'm not here for you to yell at me because you didn't send the pay stub and I missed that you didn't send the pay stub. It's hard not to be cynical in 2025. I get it. But I'm here to tell you that there's a beautiful world out there waiting for you if you see the beauty in it. There's a ton of business out there dying for you to grab it if you could just see 2 fucking steps in front of you. There are people willing to give you everything if you just give them something. I'll leave you with this. The great Charlie Munger said, invert, always invert. You want to know the key to mindset? Look in the fucking mirror. That's what winners do. Thanks for being here. Thanks for everything you do. Choo-choo. And thanks, Jamie and Nick from Barrett, for these kicks.